humanity has collectively made the choice to open to the light. December 8, 2013. As the Christmas and New Year holiday season approaches, really focus on being peaceful, being compassionate, and being loving, as Jesus always was. He is your guiding light, the way, and the path, and He demonstrated to you by His attitude and behavior on how to follow it. Yes, all paths are individualized because you all have your own lessons to learn, no two are the same. Nevertheless, when you intend to live lovingly as Jesus did, and as you focus your attention on being loving like Him, much of the energy that you channel and share will be similar to His, and that is what is healing humanity and preparing it for the great shift in awareness, in consciousness, and in intent. That is why you are on Earth at this time, to enable humanity to shift away from conflict and mistrust and move towards love. Remember, every single one of you without exception channels energy constantly because you are all, always, conduits directly connected to the source. Make it positive loving energy by holding only that intent. Do not forget that spiritual energy is like electricity, it is abundantly available and powerful, but what you do with it, what you use it for is up to you. When you are unaware of your origins, of your spiritual heritage, it is very easy to choose to use it to serve your own egoic agendas. However, as all your egoic agendas are self-serving, its power becomes very diffused and misaligned when you do this, and it loses its effectiveness. You have all forgotten or have lost access to the knowledge of the immense power that is yours, given to you by your Father so that, like Him, you can create, beautifully, wisely, intelligently, and perfectly. You are in the process of rediscovering your power and the knowledge of who you really are as you move towards the moment of your shift into love. You are, as you have so often been told, love incarnate. You cannot and could not be anything other than that, because it is the ground of your being, the essence from which you were created. It is your real identity as sons and daughters of God, one with Him always. You are each individual aspects of His divine perfection. To know and experience this is your destiny, your inescapable destiny, and that alone is reason for you to spend your lives rejoicing. But of course, within the illusion, where that knowledge remains temporarily hidden from you, it is very difficult for you to be aware of and accept the truth that your origin, that from which you were created, is God Himself, and nothing less. You are of God, you are aspects of His divine and indivisible self, eternally one with Him, even though it seems to you that this could not be the case. While your awareness, your ability to understand and experience your existence as divine beings remains severely restricted by your human embodiment, it also remains practically impossible for you to accept emotionally or intellectually the reality of this eternal truth. When you go within, to that quiet inner space from which you can access the spiritual realms, you do find some peace, some relief from the constant ongoing struggles with which the illusion seems to present you at all times. All those struggles are egoic delusions as you imagine yourselves individuated beings, separated from your divine source, and in need of protection from the dangers that you believe threaten your very existence. Your egos encourage this belief, and then encourage you to defend yourselves by attacking others. You have been doing this for eons, but finally the truth has dawned. Defense and attack do not bring peace and safety, they just escalate the sense of insecurity that envelops so many of you. More and more of you are learning this daily, either by operating in war zones, or through dealing with police forces, security organizations, and even prison authorities. Whether you are on the side of authority or subjected to that authority, it has become apparent that taking sides is divisive, and either leads to distrust or reinforces the distrust that is already present, and prevents peace from being established. It has become impossible to honestly deny the truth of that, and consequently many are now moving to change the rules so that opposing sides in disputes, whether political, law enforcement, or even religious, are being brought together in neutral environments where neither feels threatened, so that new rules of engagement or disengagement can be formulated, tried, and, if found to be effective, be put into practice. Until you cease to deal violently towards violence, violence will always remain an insoluble issue for you. Amazing progress has been made in the last few decades of Earth time as growing numbers of intelligent people have come to the conclusion that for your continued survival on Earth new rules are essential. Their desire to bring peace and abundance to all on Earth has been welcomed in the spiritual realms, and we are pulling out all the stops to ensure that this developing wisdom is neither bypassed nor discarded. Humanity has collectively made the choice and the decision to open to the light that surrounds you, and to be guided by it instead of attempting to argue, by reason and logic of a very egoic nature, that to go with the light will leave you open to destruction by those who would take your freedom from you. Non-resistance has been tried many times on Earth in the last few decades to overcome oppression, and each time it has become even more successful. It is apparent to all that it works and that there is indeed no satisfactory alternative, as all other methods to bring in essential change have failed because forcible enforcement always leads to violence and suffering that then demands restitution. In spite of the violence that is being reported by your mainstream media, I can honestly tell you that across the world violence, that for eons has been endemic, is no longer the first choice of those who seek change and release from oppression. Change is occurring peacefully in many areas because the power of the field of love enveloping you all is intensifying. Keep holding the intent for love to enter all hearts, and keep intending that you yourselves always offer love regardless of the situations in which you find yourselves. By doing so you are most effectively creating peace on Earth, and this is the season in which many of you intend to offer peace to your friends and loved ones. Now make a point of including any enemies you may have in that intent, and change them into beloved friends. With so very much love, Saul. Channeled by John Smallman. johnsmallman.wordpress.com